Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing sexy back.
The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now.
So if I get jealous, I can't help it.
For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
We got to talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week. You're up.
I think Brunson Reed and Braun Strowman put on a 5-star match in 60 seconds. I've never seen it happen before. Brunson Reed chunks the fan at Braun. I'm like, where the hell did that dude come from?
I got a tweet saying it's a good thing they're not in Memphis, or else that would have been one of the Memphis wrestling guys getting hurled.
Exactly.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you were able to find that stream of the Grizzlies preseason opener in Dallas last night. It was available. I mean, you had to look and do some stuff, but it was out there. If you watched it, you know what you saw. Grizzlies victory. 1-0. 1-0 in the preseason.
The first of many.
Just went down to Dallas and smacked around the Western Conference champions.
Well, it was some guys in a Mavericks uniform.
I saw the Dallas Mavericks.
Gotcha.
I know who wasn't there. I saw the Dallas Mavericks, and I saw them get smacked around, even as they tried to consistently injure Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Shameful behavior.
Very shameful.
Shameful behavior. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. Chris Vernon is the host of the Chris Vernon Show, weekdays noon. Grind City Media. He's going to pop in studio with me here in about 20 minutes. I'll talk Grizzlies with him when I finish chop it up with Vernon. We'll take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories, among them the Tigers football game at South Florida that was originally scheduled for Friday. It has been moved to Saturday because of a super strong hurricane headed for landfall. I saw an interview with the Tampa mayor on television last. Buddy,
I shouldn't laugh.
She's not playing around.
No, she said, you're dead if you stay. You will die. I think her exact words were, if you stay, you will die.
We have evacuation areas.
Yeah.
And if you do not evacuate them, you will die. Woo! Better get out of there.
It's pretty straightforward.
She's not mincing words. I'll tell you what else she said. We'll do that in about 40 minutes. The Jets have fired Coach Robert Saleh. Happened this morning after a 2-3 start. This Aaron Rodgers thing turned it into a disaster real quick. We'll get into that development a little later on in the show. Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs handled the Saints last night inside Arrowhead. Taylor Swift was in attendance. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman made note of it. We'll talk Monday Night Football in just a bit. Wild story has originated at a local Krystals.
Oh, really?
Whew. You know, that's If you were naming places some wild stuff could happen, Krystals would be on that list somewhere.
I think maybe it would, yeah.
You know?
It wasn't the one up here that I go to.
No. This one
I
was
like that Union Krystals.
Oh, buddy.
It wasn't my Krystals, was it?
No.
Okay,
no.
good.
Buddy, if you ain't been in that Krystals drive-thru at 2:45 a.m., you didn't really live. You didn't really live in Memphis at all. No, this one's on Highway 51.
Okay.
An employee has been accused of pulling a gun on his manager.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what set this dude off. You ain't going to believe it. We'll do that in the second hour. And an excerpt from Lisa Marie Presley's forthcoming memoir has been published, and it details how she kept her son's body in her home for 2 months after he died.
Whoa.
I'll get Bennett's thoughts on that.
All right.
We'll do
try
that
to have thoughts.
during a segment. We got 5 more things you need to know. Then we'll eventually do. I just try to find some wild stuff, and then I want to get your thoughts on it. I want you to think about it.
You don't want my thoughts. You just want me to cringe.
I just want to watch you have to think about some stuff. Eventually, we're going to do GP's carryout, and then we're going to call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because the Grizz, they played game 1 of a scheduled 5 preseason games last night. It was in Dallas. Grizz Mavs, it was inside American Airlines Center. Needless to say, the reigning Western Conference champions went down. Final score, Grizz 121, Mavericks 116. Brandon Clarke, he led all Grizzlies with 17 points in 21 minutes. But the story of the night was, I think, Najee Marshall, this low-down cheat from Xavier. I remember him well. He threw the ball off Ja Morant's right foot, leading to the Grizzlies' point guard suffering what he later described as a minor little tweak. To be clear, I respect the Mavs for winning the Western Conference last season.
That was a great run.
I respect them for their accomplishment. Shouts to Luka.
Yeah.
Shouts to Kyrie. And I understand why they would, in Dallas, recognize the Grizzlies as a big threat to their crown.
Of course.
With a core of Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., not to mention future Rookie of the Year, Zach Edey.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
But to go out and sign Najee Marshall to a 3-year, $27 million contract just to have him enter preseason game number 1 and throw balls at Ja Morant's feet in transition, shameful behavior.
Very shameful.
Shameful behavior. How long, Bennett, do you think Najee Marshall's suspension should be for this act of terrorism on a basketball court last night? 5 games? 10 games? Lifetime ban? What do you think?
I mean, I think that we need to first get an update on the injury situation.
Minor little tweak is what I was told.
Oh, good. Well, then we'll just we'll go from there.
Okay.
We'll go from there. But I'm not opposed to a season-long ban.
I'm not opposed to a season-long ban. And if Pete Rose got lifetime for betting on baseball, what do you get for throwing basketballs at Ja Morant's feet in transition?
You put it like that.
When you put it like that, proving that there is a God. I think. I'm open-minded about it. Ja Morant did return after exiting when Najee Marshall attacked him with a basketball in transition. He returned to the game, but then later on in the third quarter, he left again after feeling something he didn't like following a dunk. After that, he did not return. The final stat line for Ja was 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, a chase down block in 18 minutes. He was 4 of 9 from the field. Shot 57% from 2. He was 5 of 5 from the free throw line. After the game, again, he insisted he's good. Minor little tweak is the way he described it. Right now, the plan is for him to be
Look at that.
Reevaluate.
That is so stupid. Like, that just makes me want to puke when I saw that. Because it's like, after all we've been through, to get a tweaked ankle off something like that is outrageous.
Najee Marshall's lucky he didn't get an attempted murder charge.
Dude, how is that even possible? Like, the ball hits him perfectly in the side of his foot to twist his ankle. It is literally nothing Ja did on his own.
It's attempted murder.
It's not.
It could be.
I'm not opposed to lifetime ban, but I'll stop at that. Wow, dude. I saw that last night and was like, really? That's because I did not watch the game last night. I listened to the entire broadcast. Shout out Eric Hasseltine and Mike Wallace. Listened to the entire broadcast on the radio. And so I hear it, and then I see the video after the fact, and I'm just like, are you kidding me?
We're not kidding you.
Yeah.
It happened. Right now, the plan is for Ja to be reevaluated here in Memphis in the coming days. His availability for Thursday's game against Charlotte inside FedEx Forum, that remains uncertain at this moment. Either way, what I'm about to say is true. Opening night is 2 weeks from tomorrow. And Vince Williams is sidelined with a stress reaction in his tibia. Gigi Jackson is sidelined after having foot surgery last month. Jaren Jackson Jr. is sidelined with a hamstring strain. And now Ja Morant had to leave the first preseason game twice. How you feeling? You okay?
I mean, obviously his comments afterward made me feel better. I didn't like the ankle tweak with the ball hitting him. That was just outrageous. But he comes back and is back in the game. I'm like, okay, good. The second one when he left and hobbled off, that worried me a little bit just because he took himself out of the game. Like it was that one worried me a little bit. So to hear him give the good positive comments and say it's just preseason, man, after the game. Made me feel a little bit better. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't need to see him the rest of the preseason. I don't think anybody needs to see him the rest of the preseason. Like you said, we're 2 weeks away.
Like he's moving around. He
looks great out there.
He's putting his head on the backboard. Everything looks normal.
I don't need to see anything. Fine. I don't need to see anything else.
I actually slightly disagree with that.
What?
I mean, they are implementing a new offense. I would like to have the franchise point guard give me 20 minutes or so in the preseason. I do think there's some real benefit to him being on the court. But if they're going to let Najee Marshall throw balls at his feet, then I'm not for it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be that bothered if he doesn't play again in the preseason. I would assume he's probably going to show up on an injury report heading into that Charlotte game, and we'll see what happens from there.
Zach Edey, two-time National Player of the Year out of Purdue, made his preseason debut last night. I guess everybody did. He took 4 shots, made 3 of them, finished with 6.7 rebounds, 1 block, 1 steal. He was on the court for 18 minutes. Solid performance. I thought some areas of concern. He also turned it over 3 times, and he was also whistled for a foul like every 3.6 minutes he was on the court. Finished with 5 of those. What do you think of Zach Edey? Caught a nice lob from Ja.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful
lob
highlight.
Was nice. The lob was nice.
You told me I was going to see 10 of those a game. I'd be happy.
Yeah, the lob. Well,
Throw it up.
I think you're going to see a lot of that this season.
I enjoy that.
That's
too. Pleasurable to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that getting used to the fouls is going to be a learning curve for him for sure. He's going to get called for fouls in the NBA. He's a big guy. He's going to be banging around with other bigs. Like
in college,
in the paint.
they just asked him to be big and just back off.
He wasn't fouling out in college.
No, he was barely playing defense.
Right. So I think that's going to be a learning curve for him for sure. But I do the one thing that kind of just stood out immediately, like he moves around well out there with the team. I think that one of the knocks on him possibly was, is he going to be able to just run up and down with the NBA team?
Even when he caught the lob, he got off the court okay. It looked.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so I like seeing that. Like,
it didn't look unathletic or awkward or weird or whatever.
Not at all. Just on a surface level, seeing him out there run up and down the court with the team, I was like, okay, good. Like this is a great starting point right here.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty positive about him after that one.
As for the offense, it was different. As promised, it was different. Quicker pace. They had 26 transition points. They took 41 threes in the game. 41 threes in 48 minutes. That's 3 more than they attempted per game last season. Small sample size, but if you're just looking for things that stood out, those are a couple of things that stood out. I'm still not skeptical, but not completely convinced that simply having Zach Edey set ball screens for Ja Morant isn't ultimately going to be the Grizzlies' best offense. On first look, this offense does take away some of that and takes the ball out of Ja's hands more often than you might be used to in the spirit of let's move and move and move. But I'm happy to keep an open mind with it. I want to ask you to break down the offense. I know you didn't put your eyes on it, but it was noticeably different. And they did shoot more threes last night than they averaged per game last season. You should keep in mind also largely different group of guys on the court last night than there were most of last season. So perhaps that's another explanation. But all in all, I won't say it was a perfect night because Ja Morant had to leave the game twice and at the very least suffered a minor tweak. But Zach Edey looked fine. Scottie Pippen Jr. looked like he wants one of these.
Love it. I love it.
Roster spots and real NBA contracts. And, Brandon Clarke, we forget because we saw him at the end of last season, but he is still technically coming off of what we would describe as major surgery.
Yeah, him and Santi both playing well last night was a super positive development just because, you know, we all assume Jaren's going to be good to go for the season opener, but I
assume nothing.
I got you. But, there's going to be games that Zach Edey misses. There's going to be games that Jaren Jackson Jr. misses. You want to have depth in that front court. And those two guys, like Brandon Clarke, I know we saw him last season come back, and that was great, and we were excited about it. But he was still coming off a major injury. Like, is Brandon Clarke ever going to be the same player again post-Achilles surgery? And obviously, it's one preseason game, and we had the sample size last season, but I think he's ready to jump right back in his role that he had prior to that Achilles surgery.
Depth gets talked about a lot in basketball. I don't think it's nearly as important as the amount of time is spent discussing it, typically. When I hear a coach say something like, "Yeah, I got 12 guys who can play," I'm like, "Well, you don't need that many,
right?"
Or I got 11 guys that feel like starters. Well, then maybe your starters aren't as good as they should be because you shouldn't have 11 starter level guys on your basketball team. Like I would rather have high end talent and supplement my roster with whatever.
Yeah.
Than have 12 guys who can really play.
Yeah, I got you.
I want like 3 guys who are unbelievable, and we'll figure the rest of it out. That said, when you are already dealing with injuries, it is helpful when you have legitimate NBA players deep on your bench. Like, there are guys who can play in the NBA who, when the roster is fully healthy, will not play for the Grizzlies. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, there are guys who are good enough to play in the NBA on that roster. When that entire roster is healthy, they will not be in the games. They'll be out of the rotation. So I'm not a big believer in depth as a difference maker. I don't think world champions are often world champions because of their depth. It's usually because they have the best player of the world or one of the best players in the world right at the forefront of everything. But when you are already dealing with what they are dealing with, the depth can be helpful just to get you through the early part of the schedule. And then when things pop up, and they always do, over the course of an 82-game schedule. So what a perfect night last night, but it's fun to have him back.
It was great to have him back. I'm looking forward to Thursday, and it was good to see him again.
Thursday, Charlotte Hornets here inside FedEx Forum. We'll get Chris Vernon's thoughts next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
Is Ja Morant the player in the NBA with the most approved going into this season?
Ja Morant is one of the best players in the world. He's one of the best players in the world.
On the court, there is no question, barring injury, that what Ja Morant is.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What do you think about this matchup against the Pirates and the Bison?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is who in the hell put Gus Johnson as the notable alumni selection when we got Kamala Harris right now that's more relevant? It's 28 people I would have named before I would have got the Gus Johnson.
My assumption is, Mike, Hampton will find a way to come up again. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details. Number 9 is going to go into the Raptors this year, and so make sure if you don't have tickets already, go grab those.
Okay, then.
March 15th. You know the night now.
Yo,
Tony Allen
that's
jersey
dope.
retirement night. You got a big time night too. A Saturday night against Miami this is a great
Yeah,
one.
that's lit. That's lit, man. Big shout out.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Bill Ford Tough Studio. Grizzlies win in Dallas last night. Preseason game number 1, 121-116. That's your final score. I posted a video of the Najee Marshall pass that hit Ja's foot last night. And I'm just going to accurately quote myself so we can enjoy the comments together and not misconstrue what somebody was reacting to. I want to make sure I got it word for word. This is what I typed. The Mavericks plan to repeat as Western Conference champs apparently includes them throwing balls at Ja Morant's feet until he can't play anymore. Shameful. You won't believe how many people
I do believe it.
Wanted to argue with me about whether...
I don't think sarcasm really translates on Twitter as much these days.
No, it does. It's just that there's a lot of people with access to Twitter
that are idiots.
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad you said that instead of me, because I developed a reputation at some point in my life.
They let a lot of idiots use the internet.
Buddy, do they ever?
Why is that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I developed a reputation at some point in my career as thinking everybody's dumb or lots of people are dumb, or, you know, you probably read it about me somewhere. You know, you've probably seen it. So you probably heard it. One of your friends probably told it to you, something like that, you know? And then something like this happens, and what am I supposed to do? And then something like this happens, and what am I supposed to do? If I submit that, you know what? Maybe we ain't the smartest bunch out there on the internet.
Yeah.
And then you want to argue with me, but then something like this happens last night where I've got, otherwise I'm assuming reasonable. These people will vote in an election next month. All right? These are the same people who will help elect our next president. And they're arguing with me about whether I really believe the Mavericks has devised a plan to throw balls at Ja Morant's feet in transition until he can no longer play in an attempt to protect their reign as Western Conference champs. I'm just saying.
I know.
Chris Vernon's in studio. He's the host of the Chris Vernon Show, weekdays at noon. Grind City Media.
I had to run straight from the team store. I was over there. How do they not have Yuki jerseys yet?
Well, you didn't get that there. That was your drop.
No lie. I just changed into this. I spilled an acai bowl all over my Tiger Woods sweatshirt I had on, and this was in my trunk.
There you go.
I had a Grizzly sweatshirt in my trunk. But then I went over to the team store, and I was like, yo, where are the Yuki jerseys? And they're like, we don't have them yet. And I'm like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? What are you doing?
What does the guy have to do? What does he have to do? Comes in the game, corner three, splash.
Finds open space.
I went
moves
crazy.
into space. Moved into space.
The only thing I care
release.
about is Yuki. I know you talk Morant, you talk about all these other guys. The only thing I care about with the Grizzlies is Yuki.
Dude, at Media Day the other day.
It was the best thing ever.
He doesn't even look like a real person.
Best. Came straight in the game.
Like, if you don't know, if you didn't know he has a contract and you walked into Media Day, you would not, even in full uniform,
no way,
you would not assume he's a player.
No, he's shorter than me.
He's shorter than me. Yuki. And hey, we got a chance after all.
And you know what? Yuki, honestly, when it got to the fourth quarter, my son was watching it with me. The only thing we were going crazy, anything Yuki did, we were going crazy. And then Wells. Yeah. I like Wells. Yeah. Like, he plays with real confidence about him, man. That's a little different. You know, I said to William last night as we were watching, I said, you know, you watch him and you just watch the way he moves and you watch the way he carries himself. it's like everything I wanted, earmuffs.
Close your ears.
It's everything I wanted Zaire to be.
Right.
Confidence-wise, right? Now, again, we'll see if you're going to still have to make shots, and maybe your confidence could get broken or whatever else.
Well, first thing, he's got to get on the court.
You just see him, though. That kid's going to get on the court. He can shoot that first three he caught, or that he just pulled up straight in transition. I was like, come on now.
Right.
And then, obviously, he hit the dagger to win the game last night. And, again, it's just preseason. You're playing against who knows. But it's just the way the kid plays, because we saw glimpses of it in Summer League. And interestingly enough, when it came I had DeMichael Cole on Friday. And one of the things I read in his article earlier last week, as he was covering training camp in Nashville, he said there's going to be minutes available because of the absence of Gigi Jackson and the absence of Vince Williams. From what you've seen in training camp, who do you foresee stepping up? And Marcus Smart, who's been around, this is his 11th year in the league, Marcus Smart's immediate answer was definitely Jalen Wells.
I love it when
And I was
players
like,
say stuff like
yeah.
that, because that means something to me.
Marcus Smart?
Right.
I mean, yeah. Look, so Desmond Bain is big buddies with Jake LaRavia. And he gasses Jake LaRavia up, right? Like, you ever hear it? He's like, no, I'm telling you, Jake's going to be, right? They're buddies, right? Ja Morant loved Zaire Williams, right? My little brother, he always called him, right? And gassed him up, right? Marcus Smart's not friends with Jalen Wells. It is 100% a basketball evaluation that he is making. I'm having to guard this guy. We're playing in training camp. Definitely Jalen Wells. And I'm like, okay, now.
No, and to your point.
And he knows good wings. Hell, he just played with the two of the best for the last decade.
I mean, one of them couldn't get on the court in the Olympics, but I understand your.
I'm with it.
I understand your point. No, that's not like he's buddies with Jalen, because they can't possibly be buddies.
They're not.
Right. I remember talking to various rookies, and they're like, for the first time ever, you don't ever think about this as you get ready to come to the NBA. But for the first time in your whole life, you're suddenly teammates with people 10 years older than you.
Yeah.
They've got wives and kids. He's like, I remember talking to Frank Kaminsky one time.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, I'm bored. I don't have any friends on the team. I'm like, all right, practice over, guys. What are we doing? They're like, I'm going to pick my kid up from school. I'm going to have dinner with my wife. You know, Jalen Wells and Marcus Smart ain't spending a whole lot of, free time together. No. I imagine that's a basketball evaluation, and that means something to me.
Saw him in training camp, and that was definitely Jalen Wells. And that's when because of course, you always like the glimpses that you see, and the only thing we had glimpses of were Summer League outside of this, video, outside of, his college videos. It's not like he was even a college player that I watched on regular occasion, right? He wasn't like some kind of massively relevant college player. You would have to be a real, very draft savvy, to have an awareness about Jalen Wells and really do.
It's a little bit like Santi coming out of college.
For sure.
If you were just a college basketball fan, you don't even know who that is.
For sure.
Right.
And he was obviously a target for them.
Sure.
Like he was one of those guys that they had targeted to take him where they did. Anyways, So, I mean, look, that was just, Friday that he mentioned that. And then, that was the first chance to get to see him last night. He really didn't play much until the second half of that game. And then we get to see him, and he comes in immediately, and it's like, oh, wow, this kind of fitting right in. And so that was pretty exciting, for sure. And honestly, the preseason games, I say every year, I go to them, and then Roser always jokes, we always joke together that I said, I've done this for 20 years, and I get to halftime, and I go, I'm going home.
Right.
They don't care.
No.
I don't care. Yeah. And I'm like the thing I love about sports is like caring about the outcome.
That's right.
But they don't care about the outcome.
No.
Right? Like whoever wins in this game, whatever.
I mean, if you got a tight game with 2 minutes left, the five guys on the court are going to try to win it, but nobody cares who's on the court.
For sure. And by the middle of the preseason, you're just literally playing to not get injured.
That's right.
Right? Just get a run, get up and down the court, run some plays, hopefully play some minutes. last night was infinitely more entertaining than I expected it to be. It was. It was actually fun to watch.
Well, it was just
I think it's just because we haven't seen so many of these guys playing together. We haven't seen so many of these guys playing at all.
We haven't seen Ja in a while. We didn't see Zach much in the summer. We'd never seen them on a court together.
Right.
And then you get right.
So it's just way more fun than it would normally be for a preseason
Ja getting
game.
into space and throwing it up, and Edey getting off the floor.
Yes.
Like, it didn't look awkward. I'm not trying to make it out to be something it wasn't, but he looked smooth catching a lob.
Yeah.
You know?
That was fine. And they certainly are going to have to figure some things out. That being and figure out how to play with each other. That's why the Ja, the ankle thing. We were joking on our group text. Hey, see you on the 23rd.
Yeah.
But I do think you want to get reps.
I do too.
You want to get reps. I mean, you're going to be starting out with the NBA season, and it's like this is the guy that is going to be playing the most amount of minutes and is going to be your best player on your team. You want him getting as many live reps as you can before you get into the season.
I think you could fast forward to opening night without Ja playing another minute in the preseason. And if you told me he went out and got 35 in Utah, it would not surprise me at all.
Could.
I do think the other guys need him on the court.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And especially when
he's ready to go. I think the other guys need him on the court just to get used to him.
Well, because, especially in the absence of Jaren last night, there's one guy he's played with.
Right.
Dez is the only one that he's played, because he hasn't played with Marcus Smart any reps. He hasn't played with Edey any reps. He played with Santi, obviously. But getting Jaren back, if you're not going to have Jaren Jackson Jr. as well, and so hopefully you can get some reps in this preseason. But I was honestly, I tuned that thing in last night just expecting to be bored out of my mind and turning the Manning cast on, so I got two TVs and the volume's going to go up on one of them,
right.
And I just figured I'd be watching with the volume up on Monday Night Football, but I ended up caring about the Grizzly game a little bit more than I expected.
Okay, so I had them all on as well. Interesting, you say the volume's going to be up on one. I do the same thing, typically. My buddy, Matt Norlander, he has, like everybody's got multiple screens now, or lots of people do. He turns volume up on multiple TVs at the same time. He says he can hear it both, and it makes sense to him.
So the only one I do that with is on Sundays. We will have one game on the one TV, and then on the other TV we'll have Red Zone.
Right.
And the Red Zone is just potted low.
Okay.
So I can hear it.
You can hear
it. I can hear it. Right,
but I've never even tried that. But when I do it makes sense. You can hear two things at once.
Yeah. But the other one is just kind of going on over here, and that's Red Zone. So we're keeping up with all of the different touchdowns. Now the problem becomes, and I don't know how the hell this works with YouTube, but they're not synced up.
Meaning,
right? Like, so there's a lot of times where something will happen on one of them. And then,
on the main game broadcast, then Red Zone gets it after the fact.
It's not all synced up, but sometimes Red Zone might have it before what I'm watching. Is like, it's just bizarre.
The biggest thing I run into is
like
streaming.
I'll see the same if they're both go, because a lot of times Red Zone will just go to a game. So if they toggle to a game, it's common or not uncommon that both TVs will be on the same game, but they will be 30 seconds or whatever difference, and that is super annoying.
The thing I run into with streaming, especially with Mets games, because I follow all the beat writers.
Yep.
I have to. I can't keep Twitter up during a Mets game.
I know.
Because it'll be like a Mets beat writer will be like Lindor 2-run homer, and it's like ball 2, and I'm like, oh, here next pitch, he's hitting it out. It ruins it for me.
Yep.
And like
the only one I found, because I went and I've done it through all the cable systems. I've had DirecTV and I've had Xfinity because I was getting so frustrated about this. And the only time is that those over-the-air, the antenna, that's the only one that I feel like I am in lockstep with what's going on online. Seriously.
I mean, we are about 20, even if you've got DirecTV, from what's going on in a stadium, you're still like 20 seconds behind.
More.
Yeah. Oh, it's like a minute. Yeah. It's like a minute for
like
real.
If you call up a box score and you're watching a game, that box score will update before you'll see it. Before you'll see what's going on in that game.
For sure.
We got to fix that.
Yeah,
we got to fix that.
Let's stop worrying about putting people on the moon and let's just get our sports synced up,
I agree.
Early thoughts on the offense?
I mean, infinitely too many turnovers.
Yeah.
I mean, you get smoked by a good team.
Right.
If you're messy with the ball like they were last night, I mean, that was a lot of turnovers.
Well,
bro. What
Taylor
was it, 14 in the first,
Taylor has said they want to take more shots than the other team. They did not do that.
That was
last
a
night.
lot of turnovers last night. How many did they have in the first half? It was way into the double digits in the first half. So
it finished with 23.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was 14 in the first half. I mean, it was messy.
Right.
It was messy. But again, it's first time out, and you're playing against. I'm just looking at it through the prism of, hey, let's get all these kinks worked out and let's get everybody on the same page by the time the season's about to start. Because if you turn the ball over like that against good players, the game's over. Literally,
They just take it and lay it in.
Over
they take it and lay it in,
halftime.
and they take it and lay it in.
Correct.
Yeah.
That game's over at halftime if you're screwing around with the ball like that. You're just not going to be able to make up for it.
Last thing before I get you out of here. Obviously, there's no urgency with the Scottie Pippen Jr. contract situation. They've got time, but he seems to continuously make a case that he's going to get one of those spots, right?
I think. Yeah. I mean, you look at I was looking at free agents the other day just to see. I mean, and of course, look, one of the things that can take place is, and I don't want to. Scottie Pippen has done everything he possibly can to earn that job, okay? If they want to bring in a veteran guy, it's totally understandable considering you've got eyes on trying to be a Western Conference Finals team this year. And so you just want another steady – because, look, we just got the scare last night. It's one thing to – care. It's one thing to think that Scottie Pippen is good enough and deserves that role as a backup point guard.
With a snap of a finger, he could be your starting point guard.
The problem is that's the truth, right? And Ja Morant has played, over 70 games like one time or something, right? Like, so, I mean, there's probably going to be 10 to 15 that you're having to figure out what you're doing, and that's when. And so the only name I saw out there, oddly enough, Markelle Fultz is not signed with the team. He's out there. He's been playing with Orlando and is pretty good. But anyways, you could make everybody is evaluating their rosters throughout the preseason, and so you look at it and you go, "Hey, I've got an extra wing. You've got an extra guard.
Right. Let's do this.
Right." And so I don't know if Scottie Pippen will just be. It'll be as easy as I think that's what they're kind of trying to make their decision on. Is that's why they've got 13. They've only got 13 roster spots right now. And so if they want to move him over from a two-way and give somebody else a two-way, they can. Or if they want to make some kind of a deal. If these other teams are going to do their roster evaluation throughout training camp in the preseason, okay, I've seen kind of what I have and where I need to fill in the gaps. You've seen what you have and where you need to fill in the gaps. So let's try to find something that's mutually beneficial for both of us. You need a wing, I need a guard, and I think it's still up in the air whether or not that 14th roster spot will just be Pippen. And it's not a demerit to Pippen. It's, hey, this is a very important position that we've unfortunately had to learn is a very important position where Tyus Jones just carried us.
Right. He does look the part, though. Like, he doesn't.
Sure.
He never embarrasses himself.
No.
Right.
He had some turnovers too last night.
Yeah, but
no.
He was at 4-4 from the field.
Good player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's good. I mean, look, he was great at Summer League.
Right.
Great. I asked Zach about this at Media Day, and it was rather non-committal.
Right.
Like, basically, I said, are you comfortable having a two-way as your backup point guard? Like, what I kept trying to get to with everybody is the 8-minute mark, Ja Morant's going to check out. Who checks in? And if you noticed, it was not Pippen. Well, I mean, the first sub, actually, they brought in was Conchar last night. Right. And then they kind of shift things around. And then when Ja went out, it wasn't Pippen. And Bane brought the ball up the court.
I bet you.
So I just wonder.
Well, that's what they think. They believe
it's not just a 1-for-1 transaction.
Right.
I take out Ja Morant. I put in the backup point guard.
That's right. They believe Desmond Bane can be the backup,
or Marcus Smart,
yes.
or the whole anybody can bring the ball up the court thing.
Right.
Which is fine.
All right. That's Chris Vernon, host of the Chris Vernon Show. He'll be in the big studio at noon. You can watch it, Grind City Media. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. We come back. Tigers game, originally scheduled for Friday down at USF in beautiful Tampa.
That's Tampa.
Beautiful Tampa for now.
That's where Milton's headed.
Milton ain't no joke, buddy. So they moved the game. Memphis USF is now scheduled for Saturday. So if you had Friday night plans to watch Tiger football, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. Tampa mayor was on television last night prepping the community for what's to come. Buddy, her words were, I don't think I've ever heard a mayor say it so bluntly. I'll tell you what she said. We'll do that next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
The home dogs are barking. How about the Minnesota Vikings? Home dog the last 2 weeks. They've been a dog in all 3 games this season. They're 3-0, winning by 22, winning by 6, and winning by 27. Dominating their opponent, dominating the point spread, 3-0 against the number. And then they're a dog again this week, aren't they? At Green Bay. 2.5 point dog at Green Bay.
They are dogging it.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What do you think about this matchup against the Pirates and the Bison?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is who in the hell put Gus Johnson as the notable alumni selection when we got Kamala Harris right now that's more relevant? It's 28 people I would have named before I would have got the Gus Johnson.
My assumption is, Mike, Hampton will find a way to come up again. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing sexy back.
The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now.
So if I get jealous, I can't help it.
For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. And that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Bennett, it sounds like Ja's not the only one who needs to get over to Ortho South. I know you've been in.
I do, yes.
And I've been in. I'm suffering myself.
Yeah.
I'm suffering.
What's going on?
I have a neck injury.
You do?
Right.
What does that even mean?
It means my neck is injured. I have an injury originating in my neck.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. It just started hurting on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be fun. I'm like, if you like when I go to Ortho South and they say, "So what happened?" I'll say, "I don't know."
Yes.
It just next thing you know, like right now I feel fine. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Buddy, I went to bed last night and I woke up at like 4 a.m. because I wake up like 4 a.m. every night. And I've reached the age where I cannot sleep through the whole night without going to the bathroom.
I got you.
Do you have to do that yet?
No, I'm good. So I'm good right now.
I have to get up every night.
I don't want that.
I don't like it. It's not fun.
I try to relieve myself right before bedtime.
I do too, Bennett.
But it doesn't. That's what I hear.
Hey.
When you get up there.
Well, hey, slow down. All right? Slow down. All right.
Hey, I'm dealing with my own ailments over here.
Congratulations on being born in '86, but
It's
slow
a great
down.
year.
But
86.
it was a great year. 4 a.m, I wake up and I'm about to burst. I don't know how else to say it. All right.
Yeah.
And I've got to get up, and I couldn't move. I mean, like right now, I could move around fine. I'd feel fine. I don't feel fine. Like I couldn't like turn my head a lot, but I can. Look at me. Look at me.
I'm seeing you.
See,
Yeah,
look
you're
at this.
moving. You're moving.
Look at this.
Yep.
I'm talking about I couldn't get out of bed, and it was one of those deals. It was almost like if somebody told you got to take a cold plunge, you'd be looking at it like, God, this is going to be crazy. But I just got to do it. I just had to jerk myself up and deal with the pain. I was like, this is going to hurt like hell when I move. But otherwise, what am I going to do? Just lay here all day?
Yeah, right.
I had to get up, but I screamed to like my wife was like, I startled her, worried her. It was a rough deal. I'm going through it a little bit.
I got something happened in my leg. It's actually like my buttocks region. I think I pinched a nerve because it's
In your
like
butt?
shooting down my legs. Yeah.
Be honest. I don't mean to get too personal.
Yeah.
Been any freak off parties lately?
No. It's not. It's more on like the side of my leg.
I don't mean to get too personal. I just wondering if you've been to a freak off lately.
It's not. It's on the side of my leg. I want to clarify. It's just near that area. I believe they call it the glute.
It's none of my business.
I believe the proper term is the glute.
Hey, at the end of the day, it's none of my business.
I'm just saying. I thought like my leg's been sore and it's been like this radiating pain. I was like, it'll go away. Dude, it's been like 2 weeks. It won't go away. And like, it's hard to walk sometimes. And I don't know what to do. And so maybe I need to visit Ortho South.
Hey, I'm sympathetic to your problems, but I was trapped in bed this morning.
I'm trapped in my. I can barely walk. Like I said, dude, I'm having issues too.
And for like the first 20 minutes of me being awake, once I do get up, I have to walk like this.
Oh, that's weird.
I can't move.
That's weird.
And then I get better as it goes on. It's tough, man. Life is not easy.
Can you give me the ortho hookup?
Yes.
Okay.
I know the CEO.
Okay. He's been in the studio before. Yeah.
I'm gonna get us some appointments.
Can you?
We should carpool.
This is the greatest sponsor we've ever had.
We could
it really is. This is gonna work out great for my life.
You know what? Like
Yes.
I used to think I needed like vodka sponsors and stuff.
Right.
No,
right.
I need somebody
that can help me
to help me with soft tissue injuries. I need what kind of presenting sponsor do you need? I need someone who can fix soft tissue injuries that I randomly suffer.
Mm-hmm. Match made in heaven.
It is a match made in heaven.
Shout out Ortho South.
We'll see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you soon. I got 5 more things you need to know.
Mm-hmm. Number 1.
Tigers versus USF was scheduled for Friday night. It's going to be a Friday night thriller down in Tampa, but they've had to move that to Saturday because a hurricane is on the way.
Milton's coming.
Buddy.
I want to.
You could say whatever.
Just before we get serious,
we're not going to get serious.
They're saying this is like one of the worst hurricanes ever, right?
On record in this part of the world, 180-mile winds.
I wouldn't have named it Milton.
Well, I think you have to. I think it's a little bit like a baby in the sense that you name it before you know what it's going to become.
I would have named it like Trident.
Trident?
Yeah.
Well, I think you have to go with an M. We're in the M's now.
Okay, you go and
you don't know how hurricanes work.
Okay, Hurricane Monster.
Monster would have been a good one. It's a little bit like babies.
Yeah.
You can name a baby whatever you want, right? Like I think Gwyneth Paltrow named her baby Apple.
I think that's right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you can name it whatever you want, but you have to name it before you know what this baby is going to become.
Mm-hmm.
So what if Apple turns out to be
shaped like a... I don't know.
I wasn't going to go to body shaming. I know that.
As I was about to say that, I was like, I'm talking about a baby.
I wasn't going to body shame a baby.
Don't go there.
I wasn't going to body shame a baby.
Yeah.
Although babies, if you look at them on average, they get a little chunky.
Oh, I didn't realize, if we're going to talk about babies being birthed, I didn't realize that they, like, when we had our first child, I didn't realize that the babies come out kind of looking weird. Like, right when they, like, when he emerged, his head was like weird shaped, and I was like, "Oh my god, my child! Like something's wrong with him." And then like after a few minutes, that head starts like filling out.
Yeah, it's fine. It works out. It works out in most cases.
Nobody warned me that.
They don't talk to you about
that baby's going to come out and its head's going to look weird for a few minutes.
But don't worry about it too much.
It'll fill out.
It'll work out fine. So what if Apple grows up to be a politician and then Apple becomes, president of the United States?
President Apple sounds cool.
It does, doesn't it?
That actually sounds cool.
But you understand the point I'm trying to make.
I do.
You wouldn't necessarily like go into it thinking we just had the future president of the United States. Let's name it Apple.
Right.
You'd be like, maybe we should go with, just Henry or something.
Yeah.
Right? So you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. Same thing with hurricanes. You have to name them, and they become what they become.
They become what they become.
This hurricane was Milton before we knew it was going to be this devastating. All right?
Yeah, I got it.
Winds have touched 180 miles per hour.
That's crazy.
The Tampa mayor was on TV last night, and they asked her about the situation. You know what she said? And I'm quoting. She said, "I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here. I'm not trying to get you a soundbite. But we have evacuation areas that we have already identified in Tampa. And if you do not evacuate those areas, you will die." That's what she said. You'll die. She didn't say, man, it's going to be tough. Or you're going to have to ride it out.
It's pretty straightforward.
She said, you'll die.
Yeah.
What would you be doing?
I'd get my ass out of there.
You just would.
Apparently, like the rest of Tampa. Have you seen like the interstates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I saw a woman make a fine point last night. She said, I know if you live in Tampa, you're looking at these interstates and you're going, well, how are we even going to get out of here? Mm-hmm. She said, I moved like 11 miles in 6 hours or something like that, right? And we're running out of gas and it's not clear where to get gas. And you know what she said?
What?
This sucks. Trying to leave Tampa right now sucks. But, buddy, staying in Tampa going to create a different kind of suckiness for you.
Yeah.
Sitting on an interstate all day sucks. Standing on top of your roof, hoping you don't drown, even worse.
That's a scary situation, man.
It really
These hurricanes are out of control.
They are out of control. Mm-hmm. At what point do people stop moving to Florida?
It's a good question.
It's a serious question.
Yeah.
People always say, Florida's crazy. And Florida's fine. I have a good time when I'm in Florida, whatever. But at what point do you just decide as a people, I don't want to live somewhere where we are told we need to evacuate our home twice a year, every year, and there's a chance that our home won't be there when we want to come back.
Yeah, I don't know where you stopped. Did anyone in Asheville, North Carolina, think that their city was going to be underwater?
At what point do people just decide we're just not going to
be inland?
Well, it's a weird thing we've set up in this world.
Yeah,
we all want to be looking at water. But if you actually build your home where you can look at water, your home might not last.
Right.
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough situation.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to live like that.
I don't think I would either.
They never tell you you're going to have to evacuate your home in Hernando. I never heard that.
Yet.
You think that's coming?
I don't know, man. Again, this is like setting up to be the worst hurricane possibly on record. So I don't know.
Somebody
only looks like it's getting worse.
I saw somebody tweet last night that next week Tampa won't be there. You buy that? That seems crazy.
I think they got. I think they.
That seems nuts.
I think they have strong buildings in Tampa.
Tampa won't look the same. Parts of it. Well, sure.
Well,
that
would suck. That's a great city in America.
You know it is.
Yeah,
it is. Good luck down there. Be safe. And if you want to watch 2 American Athletic Conference football teams.
What do you think?
Do that on Saturday.
Do you think they're going to play Saturday?
No.
I do not either. I think the game's going to get canceled.
I think the city's going to be wrecked on Saturday.
Yeah, I think
it will become undeniably clear that we shouldn't be playing a football game in the middle of this craziness.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
I think it just gets canceled.
Which
is tough for Memphis. I mean, that is. You've already lost a conference game. You know
what you would do. You know what you should do. Let me be smart for everybody. You know what you do? You step in and you tell South Florida, you're coming to Memphis and we'll return the game sometime, whenever. Okay? Sometime, whenever. In a future season when we were supposed to go to USF or you were supposed to come here, we'll go there. You just come here this year. it's probably best for your players and staff to get out of Tampa. Come make you home in Memphis for the week.
It makes sense to me.
We'll play a football game in Liberty Hole.
Yeah.
And then, I guess we were supposed to come
then
there.
You're dealing with like season tickets and all.
You ready for this? Who cares?
I know. That's where I am. You're in the. It's a weird situation.
Everything
if you want to play the game,
everything you can say to counter what I'm saying will be met with, from me, with I don't care.
Yeah.
What about the USF season ticket holders? I don't care.
Right.
Oh, too bad they're going to miss a Memphis game. Give them $20 back or whatever you got to do. Refund the cost of that ticket. Well, then that's a lot of. I don't care. You're not going to be. You ready for this? Do you want to play or not? Because you ain't going to want to be playing on Saturday in the middle of a disaster zone.
Right. So everybody come here. We'll put you up in a hotel.
Even if you can, just the optics of it are going to be, there will be people within 5 miles of that stadium who have lost everything they've owned, and maybe family members. And we're just going to, get the Tigers and the Bulls on a football field?
Right.
It just seems wrong. Right?
I completely agree.
So just come up here. That's the way to fit. They won't do that. And
they won't. It'll get canceled.
I'm not even suggesting that it's something that's being discussed. This is just something that's being discussed in my head.
Right.
It's what I would do. And every counter argument would be met with, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good luck.
Yeah,
Gonna
good
get
luck.
Scary down there.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Oh, breaking news this morning. Adam Schefter.
I'm shocked.
Robert Saleh is no longer the head coach of the New York Jets. Apparently the Jets owner, Woody Johnson, just walked into his office this morning and said, you're done.
It's kind of interesting. They've never fired a coach mid-season.
Ever.
And they've had, they've been bad. So this is a pretty big deal. I'll tell you what, man. I saw this coming. You know why? I'm sure you've seen the video of this. I don't know if it was from the last game or the game before. It wouldn't have been the game they played in London. It would have been the game before when Robert Saleh goes to hug Aaron Rodgers.
And he pushes him off.
I mean, dude.
There's a handful. They downplayed every little thing. But when you add up all the little things, you go, there's a problem here.
Yeah.
They downplayed every little thing. It's like, you probably run into this in your own life.
Mm-hmm.
There's these little things. And every time you bring them up to somebody, they go, that's nothing. And you go, it's nothing. And you go, it's nothing. And after a while, you're like, okay, there's 7 nothings. Why does this keep these are all?
As soon as I saw that, I was
these are
like,
all unusual things, and you're telling me they're nothing every single time. I don't buy it.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, well, Rodgers doesn't respect his head coach.
There you go. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Then there's the other moment where Robert Saleh, I guess they jumped off sides like 5 times or something in a game, and that got brought up to Robert Saleh, and he was like, it could be a cadence issue, basically saying like Aaron needs to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
And they take that to Aaron Rodgers, and he was like, I don't maybe hold guys accountable. Like, I'm not the one jumping off sides. I know what we're supposed to be doing. If everybody else on the field knew what they were supposed to be doing and when they were supposed to be doing it, we wouldn't have this problem.
Mm-hmm.
So hold the people who are making mistakes accountable. Don't tell me I got to do something differently because other people can't keep up, which I understood that point.
Yep.
On the other hand, you're the one who was skipping mandatory mini camps.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I think this situation's kind of weird because of how the season's like, dude, that division is very much up in the air, and they get to play the Bills this week, who are coming off a loss. So like, it's not over for them. They have started off poorly, but they can turn it around and possibly compete for that division. And you're not going to move on from Aaron Rodgers, right? And it sounds like Nathaniel Hackett's going to become the interim head coach.
No, he's not.
He's not?
No, they went defensive coordinator.
Yeah, because if that would have happened, then it would have been crystal clear like what happened. Rodgers said, get him out of here, put my guy in the interim spot.
Except that guy was like terrible as head coach.
Yes, for sure.
I know that like
he was an awful head coach.
People like Sean Payton got into some trouble for saying like this is like the worst run thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
But like it was.
Yes.
It was really bad. You can't put that guy in charge.
No, and if they would have, then like everyone would have seen what was going on.
But Aaron Rodgers' fingerprints are on this. You would
for sure.
Yeah. Oh, how about this? This is what I always say. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers told anybody to fire Robert Saleh, but they knew Aaron Rodgers wouldn't object if they did.
Right.
At best, that's what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, also, I know that they lost their quarterback last year, and you have that as an excuse, but they were still, not good. You still got to coach.
They were not good,
Yeah.
and the owner, Woody Johnson, said after last season he will have to show improvement, significant improvement, or we're done here.
Yeah.
And they did start 2-3.
Right.
He becomes the third coach. This is probably just a coincidence more than anything. Third coach to be fired within days of losing a game in London.
That's tough.
You go lose a game in London, buddy, they coming for you. You want to know the other ones?
Who got fired?
Dennis Allen got fired in 2014, the day after the Raiders lost to the Dolphins in Wembley Stadium.
Okay.
And Joe Philbin got fired the day after he was the Dolphins coach, the day after the Dolphins lost to the Jets in 2015 in Wembley Stadium. You go, buddy, you lose a game in London, they coming for you.
At least you got to go to London.
At least you got to go to London.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool.
That's if you're trying to weigh pros and cons.
Yeah.
The good and the bad.
Hey, just enjoy your vacation.
Enjoy
Just
your
hang
vacation.
out.
But
We don't need you. Yeah.
We don't need you when you get back. We just have a good time in London.
Yeah.
Go see everything you need to see, but we don't need you when you get back. You think, okay, this is the motivation behind it. They think it's still early enough to turn things around. Do you think they can turn things around?
If they win on Monday, I think they got a good chance to turn things around. Because they win on Monday, that division is up for grabs. And the Dolphins, we don't know when Tua's coming back. The Patriots are a disaster. So it's really would be between the Jets and the Bills. So I think they have a huge one coming up on Monday.
That's going to be a big game.
That's a huge game. Yeah.
I mean, this is perfect for Monday Night Football.
It really is.
This is what you want.
Yeah. Both coming off a loss, both, high-profile quarterbacks. It's going to be a good one.
Two New York-based teams.
Yeah.
And one of them just fired their coach.
Yeah, it's a big one.
I'm fired up. I can't wait.
I'm excited about it, too.
Number 3.
Hey, before we get to next Monday night, we had last Monday night. And it was last night.
Yes, it was.
The Chiefs.
They're...
What? They covered for you, Bennett.
No, I know, but I'm saying, everyone always tries to write them off.
Whole team's hurt. They're 5-0.
Dude,
they got no running backs, no receivers.
They're going to win the Super Bowl.
And they're 5-0.
They're going to win the Super Bowl.
They won't win the Super Bowl with this roster. They will have to go do something.
Everyone get ready. They will win the Super Bowl.
They have to go get more. You can't do this. This is just piecing things together.
They have looked mediocre and are 5-0.
No, I don't mean... I mean on offense, if they merely rely on the players who were available to them last night, that will not be good enough to win the Super Bowl. They will have to go make a move.
Yeah, they lost their starting running back and their best receiver. So, yeah, they're going to have to do something. I'm surprised that they're not involved in the Devontae Adams talks. That makes a ton of sense. And it's up to him where he wants to go play, but
why wouldn't you want to go play there?
I know. Don't you want a ring?
Hey, go play with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's
or the ghost of Aaron Rodgers, who they just fired their coach. Why do you want to do that to yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I never know. I never know. I don't know Devontae Adams. He might just be I want to live in New York, or I love Aaron Rodgers the most,
or I love Derek Carr, who just got hurt last night. You want to go there now?
Whatever.
Yeah.
You could be motivated by different things other than where is the most obvious football place for you to be.
Sure,
but buddy, I don't. Hey, do you want to go be a part of a three-peat and catch balls from Patrick Mahomes and be a part of this celebrity thing that's happening in Kansas City? I know Kansas City isn't the most glamorous place in the world, but it is the most glamorous NFL place right now.
Yeah.
Back-to-back Super Bowls, GOAT quarterback, GOAT tight end, biggest pop star in the world sitting in a box. She was there last night. You saw her.
She was there, yep.
Glitter freckles. Did you like them?
I liked the glitter freckles.
I like them too.
Yeah, it was good to see Taylor in attendance. Travis, it clearly motivated him. He had his best game of the season.
9 catches, 70 yards, had a nice little lateral.
I saw that.
By design.
Yeah. Needed him to get in the end zone last night.
By design.
Needed him to get in the end zone last night.
Oh, Andy Reid said, we practice that every day.
Yeah. Okay.
By design.
It was nice.
Coincidence or not?
Give it up, Trav.
Ooh. Show me Taylor.
That was nice.
Show me Taylor Swift. She was there. She got excited. And then everybody started, trying to connect some dots. Coincidence? She misses some games. Travis Kelce doesn't look like a GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
She comes back, gets in her box.
Yeah.
Suddenly he's a GOAT again. Coincidence or not?
Oh, no, that's not a coincidence.
He's inspired.
He is inspired.
By the love of his life.
Yes.
I think so too.
Yeah. She's got to be in attendance for these performances. As someone who's invested in Travis Kelce this season, we need Taylor at the games, every game.
Even road games?
Yeah.
What if it's not safe?
What do you mean?
Might not be safe.
Like a hostile environment?
I mean, people get beat up at football games every weekend.
That's true. Stop fighting at NFL games.
There she is. Look at her.
Hey.
Look at. Wouldn't it be weird to be at a football game and you just like Taylor Swift is standing right behind you the whole time?
I sent you the video. The moment when Troy and Joe Buck are talking about it was hilarious because Joe Buck was like, "Yeah, my daughters told me like to not be cheesy.
Yeah.
Like don't try to be cool here talking about Taylor." So they were like, "There she is. Yeah, she's right there." Yeah.
He called her the missus.
Oh yeah, he called her the. Yeah, he was like, "Don't be careful. They will come after you, dude. Chill out."
It's wild to me the way she is covered. Not wild. I guess it's understandable at this point. But like everything she does is dissected, and then everything has to mean something. Mm-hmm. When it often doesn't mean anything at all. Mm-hmm. So it's like, she's missed games. Is there love on the rocks? No, she's preparing for a tour.
Right.
She has her own career going on.
Yeah, she's pretty busy
She's a working woman.
Yeah.
Okay? And, she ain't the kicker's wife. Just sitting at home making meals all day, She's not married to the kicker. She's not just at home in a full-length gown making meals all day and straightening the house. Okay? She's a working woman.
Yep.
And also, there are real security concerns about her at road games, just because those other places are not equipped to handle this thing. The most famous and popular woman in the world entering your facility. That it's a complicated thing. You have to plan for that and prep for that and execute that. And when you combine it with the fact that a weird, I think very small, but very loud and weird segment of the population is like now anti-Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real thing.
I think so, too.
I think it's a small, stupid thing limited to just a small amount of stupid people. But it is a real thing.
It is.
Do you know my wife owns a store? You know my wife owns a store.
Yes.
Children's store down in, down yonder. And she sells Taylor Swift. There's some Taylor Swift stuff in there, right? Because, it's a children's store.
It moves, yeah.
Yeah. And multiple people have said something about it, like in the past, since Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris. Multiple people have said that. To the point to where she asked me, my wife did, she said, well, how would you handle that situation? And I said, I would look these people in their eyes and I would say, you sound crazy. You're offended that I'm carrying a shirt featuring the most popular woman in the world? That bothers you?
Yeah.
You're crazy. Tell them they're crazy right to their face.
Yeah.
Make them own it. You want to be anti-Taylor Swift because of a endorsement? To the point, like you can be like, I don't like her music. Fine with me.
Yeah.
I don't like the way she talks shit about all her ex-boyfriends. Got it. It makes sense. I understand. I can hear that. I just don't really understand how she became the biggest star in the world. Fair question. It wasn't the easiest thing to see coming. All of this. I'm offended that a children's store carries a Taylor Swift shirt. That's crazy. You're being nutty.
I know.
Now you're being weird. But, all it takes is one nutty person with a AR-15.
They're damn right.
And, it ain't hard to get an AR-15 in the United States of America these days, right?
No.
It ain't hard to find a nutty person these days.
No, I can find one right now.
I could find one right now.
Just hop on Twitter for a sec.
Yeah, they ain't hard to find.
No.
So, she can't go to all the road games. But when she doesn't go to the road games, you know what people think? Well, they must be broken up.
Yeah.
No, she's probably working. And, she probably had somebody on a security detail say, yeah, you could go to Miami, but it's a lot and might not be worth the issues. So then she shows up at the game last night, and it's like she hugs Brittany Mahomes. What does that mean? It probably just means that she saw her friend.
Yeah.
Or remember when it was she sat in a different box from Brittany Mahomes right after Brittany Mahomes liked a Donald Trump tweet. What does that mean? It probably just means that that box was filled up and they had another box over here. And, like sometimes when I'm at my son's baseball game, I don't sit right next to my wife. What does that mean? Nothing. I just like walking around.
Yep.
It doesn't mean anything. You know?
They're going to be at San Francisco this weekend.
Well, good.
So, or no, they got to bye. They're at San Francisco on the 20th. I think it should be fine there. They they get wild in those stands. 49ers.
I saw a woman got her head knocked in at a football game the other day. Every week, somebody gets they
49ers fans are wild.
Why do they fight so much?
They get out of control there.
Yeah, you would imagine.
And then it's Raiders after that, but Raiders are different. It's
imagine you look
anymore.
up in the NFL stands and somebody's trying to fight Taylor Swift. You wouldn't want to see that. That's not something you'd like to see, is it?
I don't think so.
So look, let's just keep her in Arrowhead. Let's just let her do the home games, all right? But don't freak out every time she's not at a road game. I just explained to you why she can't go to all the road games. Stop asking so many silly questions. Silly people.
Number 4.
Oh, there's a wild story at Krystals.
What's going on?
Okay. So, buddy, you ain't gonna believe this one. This one came, but I couldn't bookmark this one fast enough last night.
All right.
When it came across. I'm just gonna read you. It's straight from WREG.com.
Okay.
I love WREG.com.
They do. They're all over it.
They're all
over it. There is no question. I don't know where WREG. They get the juicy stories. They do. Yes.
There is nothing stupid that happens in the city that WREG ain't gonna be on.
You're very right. Yes.
I mean, I go there just to look for the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
They're all over it. Yes.
So here's what they wrote. A Krystals employee is accused of pulling out a gun after his manager told him to cook burgers.
Well,
look at my fellow right there. That's Kevin Green. He's 22.
Come on, Kevin.
Okay. He worked at the Krystals on Highway 51.
Where's that one?
I don't know.
Highway 51 Krystals.
Would that be
I don't think I've ever been there.
Maybe like Elvis Presley Boulevard, somewhere between.
Yeah. I go to this one over on Union.
I know the one on Union.
Because we used to have one in East Memphis. It's gone. It's been gone for a long time.
Got the one on Union. We got one in South Haven.
Oh, and then there's two on Union, actually. There's the one here, and then if you go... Or wait, no, that one's on Poplar. There's the one on Union, and then there's the one on Poplar, kind of near Poplar and Highland.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
I like Krystals, and not just when I'm drunk. I could have it for lunch.
I like Krystals, too.
I mean, I know it's terrible for you, unless they're a sponsor, then I take that back. But I enjoy it. If I decide I want to eat something terrible for me, Krystals is... If I reach the point where I'm like, I don't mind eating something terrible today, I wouldn't mind having a Krystal chick.
Dude, they're so good. I mean, I just like the regular Krystal burgers. Now, I do wish that we had, I'm not saying one's better than the other, whatever. I wish we had a White Castle here. I do.
You know what I do sometimes?
Huh?
You don't even know all my tricks.
What do you do?
Sometimes I go to Kroger.
And get you a White Castle, the frozen ones?
You know how nice that is just to pop a White Castle in a microwave for 55 seconds and you just got one?
It's not the same. It's not the same.
It feels close to the same.
It's not the same.
It feels good
as the regular White Castle. Like that's a treat. When I go out of town and can get some White Castle, that's nice.
White Castle's nice.
But Krystal's great in its own right.
In its own right, it is great. I'm a fan. All right.
Too.
I am a fan.
I'm a fan too.
Okay, let me tell you what this fella did. What did we say his name is? Kevin Green, 22.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin worked at the Krystals because got to work somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Trying to make an honest living.
Yeah, that's right.
I respect that.
No judgment here.
No judgment here. I respect that. Okay. But he wasn't, he wasn't the manager of the place.
Mm-hmm.
By all accounts, he didn't even appear to be the assistant manager, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
He was an employee. And he was working at Krystals. And at some point, the manager, and this is my experience working in the food industry, the manager get to tell the other people what to do.
Yes.
Okay. So the manager says, hey, Kevin Green, I need you to put some more burgers
on the griddle.
If that's what they cook them on.
Yeah, it's like it's the flat top.
Can you put some more burgers on the griddle? And Kevin Green went and got a gun and put it in his face. Which, all right. It would be weird if somebody walked in here right now as I'm working and told me to put burgers on the griddle, right? Because I'd be like, what? Where is the griddle and what are you talking about?
Right.
I'm trying to do a show.
Yeah.
All right. I would think at a place like Krystals, that's a pretty normal thing to ask somebody to do.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's either like put the burgers on the griddle or put the Krystal chick on the griddle.
Right, that's all we...
Like, isn't that all that's on the menu? They got fries.
That's what you didn't dip the fries.
Yeah,
this is your job. Like, I just think, and this is where I'm happy to get Kevin Green's side of the story.
Sure.
You know? I'm happy to hear him out.
Yeah.
But if I were talking to him, mentoring him, I would say, Kevin, one of the things that was almost certainly going to go hand in hand with accepting a job at Krystals is at some point somebody was going to ask you to cook burgers.
Yes.
And you cannot pull a gun on them when they do
that. You can't do that.
Can you imagine having a gun pulled on you because you told your Krystals employee to cook burgers?
No.
Like I worked at Pizza Hut, so they never asked me to cook
Did you work at
burgers.
Pizza Hut?
Yeah, and Papa John's.
I worked at CC's. It's been. I need to go through my old stomping grounds.
Do you,
dude? I worked at that one at Poplar and Highland. The when it opened, 16 years old.
I've been in there.
I was there day one, and it's still there. It's still going.
Is it?
Yeah, that
Okay.
CC's is always popping off. CC's is
You
like
just hand them like $4. You can go eat,
dude,
50,000 calories.
It's not good, but it's just
But there's a lot of it.
Oh man, it gets the job done.
It's not good, but there's a lot of it.
Yeah. There's just something about it. Now I will say that, like, I think that there's something in that food that makes it where you can't just like eat 5 plates of it.
Ozempic.
There's
They put Ozempic in their food.
There's something in that food.
They were on to this before the rest of
I'm
it.
just telling you, like, you can't get, like, no matter how hungry you are, you can't go to that CC's buffet and be like, dude, here's my $10. I'm about to eat 5 plates of food. You can't do it. I'm telling you, it's physically impossible.
Do people still do that? Like
Go to the buffet?
Or like, not that one, but like a buffet and just be like, I'm going to eat until I bust. Because that seems like such a nasty thing to do.
My wife hates buffets.
Yeah, me too.
I like buffets.
I like
a buffet. We went to Southland last weekend, buddy, and that buffet hit, man, that buffet at 10 o'clock at night hits so different.
I like the idea of it, but at some point, like you ready for this? It is not normal to go get a second plate of food. That's crazy. Think about this. If you
speak for yourself.
I know. Listen, if I'm at the buffet, I will do the same thing. But it's not normal. Think about this. Would you ever do this? Sit down at Huey's, order a meal, and then order another meal?
No.
I mean, you might.
Probably, but no.
Like, I'll have the, Huey burger and some fries and a nice Diet Coke. Okay, cool. They bring it out, you eat it all, and then you say, hey, let's do another Huey burger, another fry, and another. You just wouldn't do that.
Right.
But that is the essence of a buffet. That's what you do at a buffet.
All you can eat.
You get chicken and mashed potatoes or whatever, and you eat it, and you go, well, I guess I'm going for seconds.
Yeah.
What?
I feel like it's kind of irresponsible.
It's awful.
Of America. I don't think they're doing buffets in other parts of the world.
I can't imagine. We had 2 exchange students. They both gained 25 pounds when they moved here.
Yeah.
We were actually at Huey's. Our first meal with Diana, our German exchange student, was at Huey's. We picked her up and we went to Huey's. And she ordered burger, fries, soda, whatever. Mm-hmm. And they bring the plate, and she was blown away by just
the portion.
She said, why did they give me all this food? I said, I don't know. It's Huey's.
That's normal.
That's what they do. She'd take 2 drinks of soda. Server would come over, pour more soda in.
Yeah.
She's like, why do they keep doing this? This is crazy. I was like, this is America, baby.
This is America.
This is America.
Yep.
Fast forward 4 months.
Oh, Chris.
She's a size 18.
Man, Chris said, who remembers the new Hunan buffet? I remember the new Hunan buffet. I loved that buffet. God, rest in peace. That was an amazing buffet.
I think we still got a Hunan buffet somewhere.
Man, we had a new Hunan in I think it was Eastgate Shopping Center. God, I went there all the time. It was so good.
The buffets are weird to me. It's one of those things that it made sense at a certain point in my life, but after a while, not only do buffets not make sense for me anymore, I don't even understand how they make sense for anybody. And that's the simplest way I can explain it. It's not normal to sit down in a restaurant, eat a plate of food, and then eat another plate of food. But I bet you more than half the people who go to a buffet do that.
Yeah, if you go to a buffet and just eat one plate of food,
you feel like you
cheated yourself.
You feel like you just flushed money down the toilet or something.
That's right. That's right. Oh, there is something for getting your money's worth. Like, dude,
Is getting your money's worth a good thing when it only hurts you to get your money's worth?
Anywhere we eat, I get a to-go box. If there's any food on the table, to-go box. Any food.
Listen, here's what I'm trying to tell you. Yesterday, I went and I had a late lunch before I picked my boys up from school. I picked them up from school. They were hungry. And I said, sure. They said, well, can we go to Chick-fil-A? I said, of course, we'll go to Chick-fil-A. We'll sit down. We'll have a nice meal together. We'll sit down and talk about stuff. And so we did that. I didn't order anything because I'd just eaten an hour earlier. So I didn't order anything. So they eat their sandwiches, and then there's fries left on the tray, right?
Yep.
Now, I could have eaten them. I like fries.
Yeah.
But I wasn't hungry. Now, did I need to get my money's worth? I paid for those fries. I dumped them. Because why am I going to eat more when I'm not hungry just because they're sitting in front of me?
They take them home with you.
We weren't going straight home.
Just leave it in the car.
But would you have subscribed to, got to eat these fries?
I mean, I try. Yeah, I try to.
You try to clean your plate.
Yeah, I try to have a happy plate.
Okay, I understand.
I try to always have a happy
plate. I respect
plate.
that. I just dumped them because I was like, you don't eat just because it's there. But that's the essence of a buffet. You eat just because it's there. You have a second plate just because it's there. You have a second dessert just because it's there.
I need a buffet for lunch. Is there any buffets downtown? Let me know in the chat. I need a buffet for lunch today.
Bennett okay, so anyway.
And stop pulling the guns out on each other at Krystals.
Kevin
Stop.
Green, listen, man, I don't know what's going on in your life.
You're out of control, Kevin. Come on, dude.
I don't know what's happening exactly, but if you take a job at Krystals, you can't be popping off every time somebody asks you to cook burgers at Krystals.
It's the job you signed up for.
That's the job you signed up for. It'd be like if every time Bennett said, can I get a mic check? I was like, you mother. It's like, we got to get a mic check, all right? It's part of the job.
Yep.
You know? Bennett's going to ask me for a mic check. I'm going to give him a mic check. What if you asked me for a mic check tomorrow and I pulled a gun on you? How dare you ask me for a mic check in the studio? It's part of the job.
Yeah.
Kevin Green, cooking burgers. I would argue the main part of the job.
That's like what you were hired to do. Yeah.
Man, he didn't think this through.
No.
Number 5.
Lisa Marie Presley.
What's going on?
Well, nothing. She's dead. You heard about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So nothing new with her. She's still not with us. But she was working on a memoir before she passed abruptly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw she said Michael Jackson was a virgin when they were together.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was one of the excerpts. I saw it.
Yeah, I've heard other stories.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying that I gather it's part of the memoir.
I can't see. It's none of my business.
Okay.
That's none of my business. I'm gonna let them rest in peace.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So she has a daughter. Her name's Riley. You know Riley.
Yes.
Okay.
She'll be here.
I know.
She's going to be at Graceland Live at some point. Yeah.
All right. So Lisa Marie's working on her memoir, but then she dies tragically. Okay. I guess this is sometimes what people do. Now her daughter is going to finish her memoir.
Okay.
Is that something people do?
I think that's noble.
If I were working on a memoir, which I wouldn't be, but if I were and then I died, would you finish it for me?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I think it's fine.
I don't know that I'd want you speaking for me if I'm being honest.
I mean, the point of a memoir is just, it's a first-person account.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's non-traditional.
Yeah.
It's a non-traditional memoir.
Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, an excerpt has been published. And in it, Riley details that her mother wrote, because it's true, that when her son, who was 20 years old back in 2020, he took his own life.
Mm-hmm.
Awful.
Yeah.
Lisa Marie Presley writes in this memoir that she was so heartbroken by the loss of her son, Benjamin, that she kept his body, his deceased body, his corpse, in the home for 2 months after he had passed.
I don't buy
that.
I don't buy that.
Had a room set up in the house. Mm-hmm. It seems legitimate. Had a room set up in the house that would lower to 55 degrees temperature in Calabasas. So right down the street from Kim.
Isn't this illegal?
Not in California.
Okay, all right. Because I was just going to say.
There are no laws about immediate burial or immediate, in California, you can just keep a dead body in your house, I guess. It's
wow.
It's addressed in the story.
Gotcha.
Not illegal. Totally legal in California. And she did it. She had the body for 2 months in the house. People grieve in different ways. You know that.
Yeah.
People mourn in different ways. So we should be respectful of that for sure. But what's the nicest way to say that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah, it's not.
Give me the nicest way to say that is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I wouldn't do that. I don't think.
I don't even want to
well, because you're gonna
speak it into existence.
Yeah.
But let's just say something, you and your wife, and something tragic happened, and she came to you and said, "We're just going to keep the body here for the next 2 months upstairs."
Mm-hmm.
How would you?
I would say no.
We're not doing that.
No.
I love you. I'm here for you. I'll hold you. We're not keeping a dead body in our house for 2 months. That's crazy. You're being crazy. Yeah. We need to go get help. We don't need to get somebody to lower our temperature to 55. We need to get you help.
Yeah.
Instead of making that phone call to try to get somebody to lower the temperature to 55 so you can maintain your dead son's corpse, let's make a different phone call and get some help.
Yeah. That's probably what I would have done. Yeah. I will read the memoir, though.
I won't.
It sounds like it's going to be interesting.
I guess so. If there's more of that to come.
Yeah,
people grieve in different ways.
I know, I don't like that.
People mourn in different ways, Bennett. You should know that by now. People mourn in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But that's real different.
That's real different.
That's a really different way.
Yeah.
Anyway, book comes out at some point. You can read it if you want to.
Okay.
Be back with GP's Carryout.
This is my favorite one-hit wonder of all time. You can listen up, because here's a story about a little guy that lives in a blue world.
I was gonna take this!
And all day and all night, and everything he sees is just blue. Like him, inside and out, I'm blue.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Is Ja Morant the player in the NBA with the most approved going into this season?
Ja Morant is one of the best players in the world. He's one of the best players in the world.
On the court, there is no question, barring injury, that what Ja Morant is.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
We got to talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week. You're up.
I think Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman put on a 5-star match in 60 seconds. I've never seen it happen before. Bronson Reed chunks the fan at Braun. I'm like, where the hell did that dude come from?
I got a tweet saying it's a good thing they're not in Memphis, or else that would have been one of the Memphis wrestling guys getting hurled.
Exactly.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
A whole bunch of stuff, but we mostly focused on your Memphis Grizzlies in the first hour. Went down to Dallas yesterday. Destroyed the reigning Western Conference champions.
Yep.
Made light work of them inside the American Airlines Center. So that's 1-0 in the preseason. Ja Morant did lead the game twice. Says it's a minor tweak. No big deal. He's going to get checked out back here in Memphis.
Okay.
And we'll find out about his availability for Thursday night's next preseason game here inside FedEx Forum. We'll find out. I bet we'll know before tip-off.
I bet we will as well.
I can't wait to get the news.
What's today's biggest game?
If Grizzlies PR sends out something depressing,
I will. Yeah,
I'll go. I'll walk down. I'll walk wherever I need to walk, and I'll steal the login, and I'll change the password. I'm gonna hack Grizzlies PR. I wish I knew how to hack.
I'm gonna trust Ja and his quote that it's all good. It's just preseason. Because I can't take anything else.
I can't take anything else either.
I can't.
All right, you know what the biggest game is today.
What is it?
The NLDS. The NLDS.
Afternoon game, correct?
I hate this.
I hate it too. It's so stupid.
All I want to do in October is watch playoff Mets games at night and get turned.
Like, dude, why?
That's all I want to do.
Okay, why is there a game at 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock? There's probably going to be time in between these two games. Like, why not just do that game at least 5 o'clock?
I don't have a good answer for you.
Yeah, like if you do Mets Phillies at 5 o'clock and Dodgers Padres at 8:10 or whatever.
Because they'll just fill the hour with Pedro.
Nobody wants to win. No. That's so dumb. I know that's why they're doing this, so they can have like another hour-long pregame show. Just stop it.
I agree with you.
Just stop it.
I'm not mentally prepared to watch the Mets at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, you gotta
on a weekday.
You gotta.
I want to build up.
There's got to be a build up.
I want the sun to set. I want to look at Citi Field and see the lights on, and the sun down, and the OMGs and that big apple out in center field.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that apple in the daytime. I don't like it. By the way, the other series is on the West Coast.
Right.
You could first pitch that at 9 o'clock tonight.
Of course you could.
You could go 6 and 9.
And it's two West Coast teams as well. Like, you could easily do that.
Put me in charge of FS1. You know what we're doing? 6 o'clock Mets, Phillies, 9 o'clock Dodgers, Padres.
Easy.
Why do I have to fix everything?
Easy.
Aaron Nola's on the mound for Philadelphia tonight. Sean Manaea going for the Mets. Philadelphia minus 115. You can get the Mets at minus 105. Do you realize all 4 division series are now tied 1-1? First time that's ever happened.
You know, I'll take the Mets. I'll take the Mets.
You better.
I'll take the Mets. Aaron Nola.
He's tough. He's tough.
Let's keep it. Let's keep it close.
The good news was the Phillies didn't throw their ace in Game 1. The bad news is he's available for Game 3.
Who y'all got going?
Sean Manaea. 12-6 this season, had like a 3.4 something ERA. Not bad. Anyway, had that.
Need the crowd.
Grimace is going to be there.
Need the crowd.
Crowd's going to be
That's
there.
That's how we're going to do this.
Citi Field's going to be on fire tonight.
Give me the Mets.
Get in price. Ooh, look at this.
I will say get in price is $300.
$200 for a baseball stadium?
It's not bad.
It's a lot of seats. Citi Field is big.
I guess that is expensive, huh?
That's a lot of seats.
It's a playoff
That
game.
means like you sitting way up there. I wouldn't even go up there.
Yeah.
$200 to go way up there? Woo. Bennett said take the Mets minus 105. First pitch 4:08. It's on FS1 LGM.
What are we watching on TV?
Did you watch season 1, episode 1 of The Franchise yet?
No.
You don't know The Franchise?
No. The Franchise?
The Franchise.
What's The Franchise?
New Sunday night HBO show.
What's it about?
Franchise.
Which franchise?
Just a franchise.
Okay.
So,
by the way, my wife started watching that Kristen Bell, the one about the...
Loves it?
Loves it.
I knew she would.
Netflix show. Yeah. She loves it.
Because you know why she loves it, I bet?
Yeah.
those main characters they seem like likable people.
And they're two people that were like a big part of like her, not youth necessarily, but like we've grown up with them. Like she liked the OC, and Adam Brody was in the OC, and Kristen Bell's been around forever. Like it
makes sense.
It's two familiar faces.
Nobody wants this. I think that's what it's called.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. All right. Now I got the franchise for you. Here's the franchise.
Okay.
The franchise follows the crew of an unloved franchise movie fighting for their place in a savage and unruly cinematic universe.
Okay.
The comedy series shines a light on the secret chaos inside the world of superhero movie making, asking how exactly the cinematic sausage gets made. Every mistake has an origin story.
Okay, this sounds kind of up my alley. This sounds fun.
I just always give the Sunday night HBO shows a shot because they're usually good.
Usually good. They
usually
got a good hit rate. Yep.
You know? They often have dragons, and they're usually good.
Yeah.
I don't think this one's going to have any dragons. I hope not.
Okay.
I hope not. I'm over the dragon thing, I think. The franchise, Episode 1, premiered Sunday night. It's available to stream right now on the Max app.
What's the best thing we've read?
Pete Prisco, CBS Sports, has updated his NFL power rankings this morning over at CBSSports.com. Number 1, Kansas City Chiefs. At 5-0, followed by the Vikings.
Scoundrels.
The Vikings also 5-0.
Yeah.
Are the Vikings really the second best team in the NFL, or are they just
I think it's impossible.
The other team that's 5-0?
No, I think it's impossible to doubt them now at this point. Like Sam Darnold, I mean, I don't know if he'll like qualify as like comeback player just because what is he coming back from? He's just
hell.
Dude, it's crazy because that dude has just been written off as like, okay, he's a fine backup quarterback in this league. He has been awesome for that team, and their defense is really good. I think they're the real deal, maybe.
You got all these quarterbacks that have been given up on.
Yeah.
And like,
you're kind of seeing it around the league a little bit. You've seen it with Baker Mayfield too. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I think they're real.
Commanders come in at number 6. You believe her?
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is freaking awesome.
He looks the part.
He is so good. He is so good. I wonder if I don't know. Caleb Williams had a good game this past weekend for the Bears.
Bears are 11th. 11th.
Yeah, I think Bears fans still are wait and see with Caleb that he could end up being the better quarterback out of that draft. But Jaden Daniels looks amazing.
Bears are 3-2.
Yep.
Where do you think your Titans are?
I would say they are 29th.
27th.
Yeah.
1-3. Just ahead of the Dolphins, Jaguars, Browns, Patriots, and the Panthers at number 32. You can read that CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Wednesday. So we'll be celebrating, hopefully, a Mets victory. Perhaps we'll get some Ja Morant updates on that minor tweak. Hopefully the update confirms just a minor tweak. I can live with a minor tweak.
I'm fine with a minor tweak.
But I don't want anything more than that.
No.
You start trying to insert the word major, we're going to have issues, Grizz PR.
Yeah.
I'll hack you.
Yes.
Send out good news.
Yes.
I'll hack Grizzlies PR and send out good news.
Good.
Just over and over again. I'll turn that account into a ray of sunshine.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. Meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Wrap your hood.